Why do we continue to get up every day? Why do we continue to wake up even though we have a lot of things going on in our life where you feel like you're stuck or you feel like you just don't want to be here genuinely? Why do you wake up every day? And the hardest things in life are the biggest reason why you should continue to get up every day, not use them as an excuse to lay down your life, to give up, to stop doing things, and just use them as an excuse. It's not right. And a lot of people like to use it as an excuse. I'm talking about the things that we can control. When we are physically able to do things, but we choose not to do it because we blame it on our mental abilities or capabilities and capacity. We say that we won't do something because we claim we're tired, when in reality our body's not tired, we are just tired mentally. And we use it as a better excuse. Oh, well, I feel this way, so it's okay if I skip out on doing this. Or it's okay if I don't do this, I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow turns to never because you never do it. Or especially in times of grief and loss, when somebody dies, you should not always use that as an excuse to stop doing the things that you're doing, because you prove to yourself that when something like this happens, your life stops in a way. The things that you were doing, they stop. And I'm not excusing the feeling of life becoming more difficult, because trust me, I understand that, and in the situation that I'm in right now, I understand that completely. But knowing when you are physically capable of doing something and you can push through this adversity, you can get through anything in life. So when you go through this loss, this grief, the biggest or maybe worst situation that you've ever been in your life, when you can prove to yourself that, okay, this is a time where people use this as an excuse. This is a time where people give up and they say, well, this is what's happening to me, because they're claiming that something's happening to them. They will stop doing whatever it is that they were doing. If it was a goal, something kind of puts a halt to that goal. It's a rock in the road. You get stuck, and they use it as an excuse to stop doing it or never try at all. Or to do like I said, the goals that you had before, you stop doing it because there's some sort of excuse. This didn't work out this way, or I don't feel this way today, and you let your emotions run your life. Life continues to go on regardless of your situation, and it really just fucking sucks. It does. And especially if it is one of the worst things that's ever really happened to you, and you realize that life continues to move on no matter what you're going through. And it's just all the more reason to keep pushing through, because life doesn't stop just because your world stopped. It didn't. And like I was talking about earlier, when you can show yourself and you can prove to yourself, though this is one of the worst things that's ever happened to me, I can still get up and do the things that I told myself I would do when I was in a better state of mind, when I was in a different place in life. Just yesterday, so-and-so didn't die, or this person didn't break up with me, or just a whole bunch of examples and situations that I could talk about that can just change the trajectory of your life in one day and your emotional state, etc. There are, like I was talking about earlier, there's a certain extent to which I'm speaking of, and I'm not talking about physically, like not being able to get up out of bed, or your mind is too corrupt with negative thoughts, or just it's bouncing back and forth, that you can't perform to the best of your ability, and you can't show up for work or school or whatever it is to the best of your ability. Sometimes it is better to just take a break. Or if you're sick, or you physically are incapable of doing something, and doing whatever it is that you were trying to do will hurt you or affect you negatively, then not doing it at all, then don't do it. But what I'm talking about is being able to do it. It's just your mental is a barrier. It's a wall that is trying to tell you, no, you can't do this, and because this hard thing happened to you, it's an excuse, and it's okay. Don't enable that for yourself. Get up and continue to do whatever it is that you're doing. Get up and go to the gym, even if it's not your full workout. If you just show up there, you showed up. Even if you didn't work out, you drove there, or you packed your bags, or you put your shoes on, or you did a set of something, or you walked on the treadmill for 5 minutes, whatever it is, or you took a walk around the block, or you woke up, you brushed your teeth, and you took a shower. You got up for the day. And just because you didn't go to work, or you weren't able to perform your best at school, or you weren't able to work out or stick to your diet completely, things happen, life happens, and we're not going to be the same person every single day. And that's where a lot of people get wrong, is people are really motivated in the beginning to do things because they are so full of motivation and ambition. And motivation is a feeling, and it provokes action, but motivation is not action itself. It is not something that we always stick to, and people mix motivation with discipline and consistency, and they get that twisted, and they end up not doing what it is that they wanted to do. Because being motivated, like I said, is just a feeling, and it's going to propel you forward. A lot of the things that you do, you wouldn't have even begun to do or think about if you didn't have this feeling of motivation, like, oh, I'm going to do this, and this is how I'm going to look, this is how I want to be, etc. This is what I want to do. It'll push you forward, but do not rely on that motivation. So my point is we're not going to show up the same. We're not going to wake up every day in the same mindset, or we're not going to know exactly everything that's going to happen in life to the point where we can prevent every bad thing that's going to happen to us. It's just not going to happen. And the worst things in life will happen unexpectedly. You're never going to have a perfect timing. You never. And it'll put a halt to your life, but it's up to you whether or not you want it to do that completely. Whether you want to stop doing whatever it is that you were doing, or not do, and they never start to begin with. It's up to you to do that. And that's why you need to show up for yourself. And the worst things, like I said, they happen randomly, and I prove to myself every day that I get up and I do what it is that I said I'm going to do. I will work out, and I will still walk. I will still, like I said, work out, stick to my diet, do the things that I need to do in school. And yesterday, I was unable to do anything relating to school. This is just an example of why I couldn't do it, because my mind was so full of things and the life that I'm living right now. How could I perform to the best of my ability? How could I read a whole bunch of pages and do an assignment and do tests and do fucking math? Oh my god. Like, read and just do anything but think about my situation. How could I perform? And then so I'm going to fail. And I know myself. I'll get lazy and I'll use AI. I'll cheat. And I'm not going to do that. And I'm not that kind of person. And I know that I won't perform to the best of my ability if my mental capacity is not to the best. It's not even at 60%, to the point where I can't even pick up my computer. I can't even read anything. I can't even read a sentence without having to reread it because I don't understand. And it just goes to show that there are certain things that you just can't do. But like I said, I continue to show up for myself regardless. And because of recently, I need to find a reason to get up every day, just as anybody else in life does. Everyone's reason is different. And I'm not going to use some of the bad things that are happening for me in my life right now as an excuse to not do anything. Even it makes things 10 times harder, let me tell you that, because there's a lot of things that I keep trying to tell myself it's okay to not do, and because it's so uncomfortable, and I genuinely am tired, physically and mentally. Sometimes I'm just tired and I don't want to do it. But though the barrier is a lot thicker, the wall is a lot taller, it's a lot harder to get through those things when maybe you were motivated one day and you woke up. And of course everybody's going to do something when you're motivated, or when things are easy, and when you don't have certain situations hit you randomly. Of course it's going to be easier, but when these things happen for you, you still show up regardless, and it's just adding a weight to it. You're pushing a 10-pound weight behind you instead of doing it without the weight a couple days ago, or at a time where you didn't have something going on in your life. And as of recently, my dad was diagnosed with cancer like 2 days ago, literally, and it puts a halt to your life. It really does, and it will shift your life. And that's not the only thing. It's like we're in the middle of planning my grandma's funeral too. My grandma, she was murdered, and they recently found her remains. So it's not like she just died recently. She was missing for 7 years. And there's just a lot of things that are going on in my life where I'm proving to myself, regardless of how hard this is, regardless of how alone I feel at times, and how much I just feel restless, and I can't stop thinking, and I worry so much, or I just feel like, what's the point? I feel empty at times. I still show up for myself regardless. And people would use that as an excuse to lay down and not do the things that they were doing or never tried to begin with. They will use it as a reason to say, well, oh, this bad thing is happening to me, keyword is to me, that, okay, well, I'm just going to stop trying. Or obviously life doesn't seem to go my way ever. Life doesn't treat anybody fairly, first of all. But just because it doesn't treat me fairly, I'm just going to give up and I'm going to stop trying, and I'm just going to see a negative aspect of everything in life. I'm just going to view life negatively. And that's not what I'm going to do. I'm not going to choose to live and see life and perceive the world and everything about me, people, everything in that way. I'm going to flip it and think the opposite of it. I'm going to push through with grace and positivity, but I'm not going to force that positivity. You hear people say, well, you just got to be positive, you got to be positive. It's really hard to be positive some fucking times. It really is. So you just need to feel the emotion. You need to be with yourself, not sit. I mean, you need to sit with yourself, but you don't need to completely meditate and do guided meditation if that's not what you want to do, or sit still for hours on end, or sit under a fucking tree like the Buddha. You don't need to do that. But just sitting with yourself for even 5 minutes or 10 minutes, it goes a long way. And especially in the time that we live in, where we just are constantly listening to music or podcasts or watching TV or doing this, go on social media. It's like you'll never hardly ever see anybody just sitting with themselves in silence. Only you see old people really doing that. And I've been trying to implement that more in my life for a very long time, and especially knowing who the kind of person I am, I can't speak for anybody else, is that I'm very restless, and when I do go through a lot of things in life, I keep myself busy subconsciously, so I run away from the issue and the problem and the feeling that I have deep inside, and I'm running away from it by constantly cleaning and moving around or listening to music or podcasts. And I push off journaling. I say I'll do it later, and then everything just compounds, and it makes me not want to journal. It makes me just not want to do the things that I need to do to help myself, that I know will help myself. And I just need to remember in situations like this that I'm in right now, is that I need to implement those things, even 5 minutes, just sitting with myself and thinking about what it is. Like in the mornings, I like to listen to music and listen to podcasts, and I've been trying to slowly take that away. Like the first 5 minutes of when I get ready, I will not listen to anything, and that goes a long way. I'm not going to jump and stop listening to music and podcasts and moving around and just sit on the couch and sit or lay in my bed and just stare at the ceiling for hours. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to find ways to implement it in my life where I can feel the emotions, and then I can start thinking positively. Because when you just jump to positivity, you don't feel the negativity that is consuming you and that's around you. You don't feel it. You don't see it clearly as the situation in which it is. So you need to see it as it is, objectively. Feel whatever emotions and thoughts that you have going on, good or bad, and then you can change your mindset. And with the way that you're living right now, or what you're thinking, you want to think the opposite of it. If you don't want to be this way anymore, if you don't want to feel negatively, you want to think positively. Okay, let's do the opposite of it. So that's why I will turn whatever negativity that I feel and act out in life into positivity. I'm just not going to jump straight to it. I'm going to understand the situation as a whole and see it objectively, like I said, and then move on to how I want it to be. And that's all that I can do in life. And I can just say, when I had that mindset of, well, you only live once, so I might as well stop trying. I might as well not do this, blah, blah, blah. I hate my life. Like, my life got so much better when I stopped doing that. And like what I just said with the positivity, seeing things oppositely and moving through life with grace and just using it as motivation, learning as much as you can, and finding meaning and purpose through the action and outcome itself, you live life so much better. You move through life and get through it so much easier. And well, I can't say easier, but you can get through it a lot better than if you were to just constantly think about the bad things and what you can't do and what you can never achieve, or everything that this is happening to me, life is happening to me. Like, you just get through it regardless, because life moves on. Like I said, my life will just keep going with or without you, and it's up to you whether or not you want to stay stuck or not, whether you want to move with it or stay stuck in the past or in the future. It's up to you, and only you can make that change for yourself. And it's also another scary thing to realize, is that nobody can do it for you. No one's going to be there to save you. You can have people around you, but it's only up to you to want that change and then to make the action itself. And that can go with anybody else. If you want somebody to change for you or just for themselves, it's not going to happen unless they really want to. And I'm really realizing that too right now in my situation. But I'm speaking from what I'm experiencing right now, and I just wanted to speak on it and how I get through life every day, no matter what it is that I'm going through. And it doesn't mean that I don't have hard times. Like, it doesn't mean that everything is just so easy for me. Like, today I went to Starbucks. Okay, I went to Starbucks, and I do that on Wednesdays, and I go to do my schoolwork because it's a better environment for me. And I was so restless. I got there, and I couldn't feel like I usually do. I couldn't feel very happy or find joy in things. I just wanted to get over with it and go home and do whatever it is that I wanted to do, other than do school, other than focus on anything else, because all that's consuming me is my grandma, is my dad, is my, just everything in life. It's just, it was consuming me. Why would I want to fucking read about the Declaration of Independence? Like, what? Like, why would I want to learn about fucking geometric shapes? Like, I don't want to. There's so many other things that you want to do, but the things that I don't want to do, I do it anyways. I almost didn't do it today. I almost just went home and didn't complete what it is that I needed to do. But I had to remind myself, this is a situation, though it's different for everybody else and it may seem small to you, it's big to me, because I know that I'm enabling this action, and it will go into other factors in my life to the point where I will stop being who I am. And I know myself well. So those little things will compound and lead to bigger things. It can go to my fitness, it can go to diet, it can go to all my discipline, and I'm not going to slowly undermine and chip away at that discipline that I built for so long and put so much effort into it. And I'm not just gonna give up just because I feel tired. No, I don't want to do it, so I'm not gonna do it. No, I did it anyways, and I got through it, and it was so fucking freeing. I slammed that computer all hard, and I was very happy to go home. And this is what I'm doing right now. And I feel better, because right now, how would I be feeling? I would have been like, okay, well, I just proved to myself that I can't even do this simple thing. I can't even do math for 10-30 minutes. I can't even do that for myself, because I feel mentally tired. No, I'm gonna do it anyways. And I showed up for myself, and now my capacity, because my capacity for pain is it's just bigger. And that goes with anything, and so does your discipline. It's like building a muscle. You get through those hard things, you push through another rep, and then boom. Now you know, okay, when shit hits the fan, when things are hard, I'm gonna get through it regardless. And with these situations that I'm in right now, it takes a lot for things to get worse. Is all I'm saying. So it's just setting the bar so high for me. Like, I know I can get through this. I can get through anything in life, and I'm going to continue to prove that to myself regardless. So it's in the hard times that you are experiencing that you need to show up for yourself, because it is the most important. It is not the most important to show up for yourself when you are 100% full of energy and motivation and everything. When you are ready, it's not right. It is not the right moment. The biggest moments of showing up for yourself is when you just genuinely don't want to fucking do it. When you feel like you cannot do it, but you push through anyways, and you show yourself you can do it, and you set that bar so high, you're going to continue climbing and setting it so much more higher, to the point where you know for a fact that you're going to do it regardless. Before you even do it, you know that you're going to do it. You're going to accomplish it. You're going to see the results that you want to see. You're going to keep climbing so much higher, you won't even know where you're going to be at yet, because of how certain you are with yourself. So it is these hard times and adversities in life that you can push through, and you show up for yourself regardless, even if it's half, even if it's a tiny little bit. Keep doing it, and at least show up. Put those shoes on, or pick up the pencil and write one word, or just get up out of bed. Make yourself breakfast. Do something with yourself. And getting up and showing up and being there is always the first step, and it usually enables action when you're there. So I hope that I was able to convey and articulate something to at least help you, because there's just a lot of things bouncing off back and forth in my mind, and this is just something that I've been feeling lately, going through, and I will continue to go through for the rest of my life. But I'm going to continue to use it as motivation, and I hope that you can use it as a push and drive, and as your fuel to keep going in life, and not see it as a negative thing completely. You're going to feel negatively, but you're not going to choose to act that way. So I appreciate you if you did watch this video, and I hope I helped you in some sort of way.